Culinary Union Local 226. I'm joined here with Aries, our president of Local 226, and many North Las Vegas residents and culinary members. We're here today to launch a ballot initiative campaign to win neighborhood stability in North Las Vegas. The Culinary Union has launched a campaign to win neighborhood stability in North Las Vegas by working with North Las Vegas residents and community allies to advance a ballot initiative that would prevent rent increases in North Las Vegas from exceeding the cost of living. The Culinary Union will be gathering thousands of signatures in North Las Vegas to put a Neighborhood Stability Ordinance on the ballot for voters in North Las Vegas to vote on this November to enact. Supporters can go to www.neighborhoodstability.org to learn more about the campaign, to read stories of North Las Vegas homeowners and renters who support the campaign, and read the proposed ordinance and sign up to receive regular text, mail, and updates. And we want to be clear about why we're doing this. North Las Vegans are being pushed out of their homes by rent increases that are amongst the highest in the nation. On top of 8.5% inflation in gas and groceries, rising rents are a blow to working families who are still recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. Neighborhood stability, safety, and security is good for everyone. Long-term residents, senior citizens, first-time home buyers, parents with children, and local neighborhood businesses. That's why the Culinary Union and community allies are advancing an initiative petition to ensure neighborhood stability by preventing rent increases in North Las Vegas from exceeding the cost of living. The Neighborhood Stability Ordinance would limit rent increases to at most 5% per year and tie rent increases to inflation, and it will be on the ballot in North Las Vegas this November. We are going to make sure of that. That's a good thing. Long-term residents and senior citizens are being pushed out of their homes in North Las Vegas following an average of 28.5% rent increases since 2019 overall in Clark County. Seniors are forced to rely on taxpayer-funded assistance or evicted. Saving up for a down payment can be a possible hurdle for first-time homebuyers when the rents go up faster than the cost of living. The loss of stable families in a community results in student turnover in our public schools, and that creates more challenges for teachers. Local North Las Vegas neighborhood businesses suffer when customers need to move or cut back spending when rents go up faster than the cost of living. And I just want to comment, we put out a press release for everybody, and there are some facts, and I want to highlight just a couple. Because there's a corporate interest. Why are these rents going up so fast? Well, it's price gouging, clearly. But there is a reason behind why these corporate interests are raising rent. So along with rent increases, the community has also seen home prices escalate. In North Las Vegas, median home prices rose 43% from February 2020 to February 2021, making it very difficult to buy homes for working families. In North Las Vegas, as elsewhere in the country, huge out-of-town corporations have started building single-family rentals targeted at families who just can't afford down payments. The top 10 apartment owners in Nevada own 26% of total available units. The largest owner in the state is the Westland Real Estate Group, which is based in Long Beach, California. And in March of 2022, 39% of Nevadans had difficulty paying for housing-related expenses, according to the federal government survey data. What does this all mean? What's happening is private equity and hedge funds are buying homes in southern Nevada and across the Sun Belt throughout the United States. Large corporations are buying apartment complexes here in Las Vegas and across the United States. Corporate companies, large corporations are creating short-term rental, large industries and companies, and they're buying up homes less homes for us to buy, and also these corporate interests are raising rents through the roof. It is price gouging clearly, and we are going to do something about it. And we think there are others out there who should join. Now, we do have several folks here from the coalition. There are 5 North Las Vegas residents. They comprise the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance Petitioners Committee. First up, I'd like to introduce Aretha Wilder. She's a Culinary Union member for 26 years. She's a shop steward and a cocktail server at the community.
Good morning. My name is Aretha Wilder. I work as a cocktail server on the Las Vegas Strip. I've been a culinary member for 26 years. I'm a proud third-generation Nevadan who has lived in North Las Vegas for over 20 years. I support my disabled mother who lives with me. I have 2 grown children who no longer live with me. My eldest daughter is 29 years old and my youngest daughter is 26 years old. I'm a previous homeowner, but recently divorced, so I'm currently renting in North Las Vegas. And I'm trying hard to buy a home. It's been challenging and stressful in this housing market. I was pre-approved and had money from the sale of my previous home, but after putting in 9 different offers on homes over the past few months, I only heard back from 1, and I couldn't compete with the high cash offers. I got outbid. So I had to become a renter once again. I haven't been a renter since I was in my 20s. Trying to find an affordable place to rent was difficult. In 3 months, I put in 6 rental applications and paid the non-refundable fees of $50 to $75 for each one, but I didn't hear back from most of them. Finally, I found a place, and I currently pay $1,935 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. I have a 12-month lease, but I'm anticipating that they will increase the rent after my lease is up, so I'm in a mad dash to try to save to find a home to buy when my lease ends. As a renter, a lot of things are out of my control, and renting in this market means insecurity and instability. The renters market in North Las Vegas is extremely stressful and a year-to-year battle. My monthly rent is more than most homeowners' mortgages, and that isn't right. My grandparents are from here. My parents were born here. I was born here. I feel like I'm being pushed out because I can't afford to be sorry. I feel like I'm being pushed out because I can't afford to rent. And every rent payment is eating into my money that I have been saving to buy a house. My kids see how discouraged I am and how hard it has been for me as a single mother. It makes me sad to see that the Nevadans who were born here can't even afford to live here anymore. I have a good union job, but in North Las Vegas, I'm facing a battle of huge out-of-town corporations wanting to keep me as a perpetual renter, and it's pushing me to the brink. I work so hard and rarely take a day off just to be able to make my rent every month. If I can be pushed out, then anyone can. And that's why something must be done. I'm proud to join the campaign to win neighborhood stability because it's not just for me. I'm fighting for my 2 children who also rent. And I want to have better opportunities. And I'm also fighting for my 300 relatives who live throughout the valley. Ever since slaves were freed, land ownership is extremely, extremely important for Black families so that we can build wealth and security. But that seems to be out of reach for most of us, and we are using all the hard-earned money we make on high rent. Something has got to change, and that's why I support the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance. And I'm asking other North Las Vegas renters and homeowners to join this campaign and make North Las Vegas a place where we can thrive and call home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aretha. God bless you. introduce a Bartenders Union member and a shop steward, and who is a homeowner, Hadiza Sadiq. Hadiza, come on.
Hello, good morning. My name is Aretha Sadiq. I'm a bartender on the Las Vegas Strip, and I've been a Bartenders Union member for 18 years. I've been living in North Las Vegas for 8 years, and I own a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home in North Las Vegas. I decided to buy my home because as a renter, we were paying someone else's mortgage, and I wanted to own something that was my own and have more stability and security. Also, the rent increases we were facing every year was nonsensical. Just the thought of my rent and cost of living going up every year and them not keeping up with the wages, it was too much. I have 3 children. My eldest daughter is 18 years old, and I have 2 14-year-old daughters who are twins. I want my daughters to be able to save up to buy a home one day, but this current housing market is not affordable. Right now, for what my home is valued at, I wouldn't be able to afford to buy my own home today if we were on the market. I worry that my eldest daughter will have to pay rent that is way too high when she moves out, and that she will have to live with a lot of roommates just to be able to make rent. When I first moved to Nevada, a 2-bedroom apartment was about $850 to $1,000. Now the current prices for rent are too high, and it keeps Black and brown families in a vicious cycle. People don't want to rent forever, but in North Las Vegas, the market is overwhelmingly stressful and the prices are ridiculous. With the IRS tip allocation rates skyrocketing, workers are making significantly less money every paycheck, and that makes it harder to make rent. I have also noticed a lot of homes being built recently, but not for sale. They are only for rent, and the prices are too expensive, and it makes me think that as my daughters grow up, they will face limited options. As an immigrant from Nigeria, who moved to the United States over 30 years ago, I'm proud to be a homeowner because it's part of the American dream. As a homeowner, I am also proudly supporting the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance because everyone is on the brink of housing not being affordable, whether you rent or buy. I urge North Las Vegas renters and homeowners like me to join this campaign to win neighborhood stability. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. Next up, I'd like to introduce Isabel Alejandra Saldana, a cook at Stations Casinos, Boulder Station. She's been there for 17 years. She is
Buenos días, mi nombre es Isabel Saldaña, trabajo para Boulder Station, soy cocinera, soy madre soltera de 3 hijos. Mi hija mayor tiene 14 años, mi segunda hija tiene 9 años y mi hijo tiene 4 años. He vivido en North Las Vegas durante los últimos 25 años. Actualmente estoy alquilando un departamento de 2 recámaras y 2 baños por $700 al mes. Mi departamento se vendió recientemente y aunque no ha habido nuevas mejorías ni renovaciones, quieren aumentar mi alquiler a 1,200 y eso es un aumento de 500. Hay otras 6 departamentos en mi edificio. Los aumentos del alquiler, la presión de mudarnos nos está pasando a todos los que vivimos ahí. No tengo ahorros y es difícil mudarme con poca anticipación porque se necesita mucho dinero. El depósito, un mes alquiler, 100 para mantener el departamento y 50 para la tarifa de solicitud. Estoy buscando otro lugar para alquilar, pero necesito tiempo para poder ahorrar a lo menos $2,000 para poder mudarme a un departamento de 1 recámara. Ni siquiera puedo permitirme guardar dinero o ahorrar para mudarme, porque estoy pagando mucho por el alquiler. Aquí no estoy segura de mudarme, porque estoy pagando mucho por el alquiler. De cómo lo voy a hacer, un aumento de alquiler de 500 simplemente no es justo. Soy una madre soltera, no recibo manutención de menores, estoy en una situación difícil. Estoy tan nerviosa que no sé dónde vamos a vivir. Mi mamá dice que podemos mudarnos con ella, pero no hay suficiente espacio para mis hijos y para mí. El alto costo de alquiler en North Las Vegas realmente nos ha puesto en una situación difícil a todos. Es tan claro y vivo de cheque a cheque. Todo lo que quiero es poder pagar el alquiler y mis facturas, pero con la pandemia y el aumento, el alquiler ha sido muy difícil. Mi plan es seguir buscando un alquiler que yo pueda pagar. Necesitamos una solución a la crisis de vivienda en Las Vegas, y es por eso que hoy estoy aquí compartiendo mi historia en apoyo a la ordenanza de estabilidad del vecindario. Necesitamos que algo cambie. No podemos hacerlo de otra manera. Gracias.
She said, I'm a single mother of 3 children. My eldest daughter is 14 years old. My second daughter is 9 years old, and my son is 4 years old. I have lived in North Las Vegas for the past 25 years, and I am currently renting a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment for $700 a month. My apartment was recently sold, and even though there haven't been any improvements or renovations, they want to raise my rent to $1,200. That's a $500 increase. There are 6 other apartments in my building. Rent increases or the pressure to move out is happening to all of us who are living there. I don't have savings, and it is too hard to move out as a short notice because a lot of money is needed. The deposits, 1 month's rent, $100 to hold the apartment, and $50 for the application fee. I am looking for another place to rent, but I need to be able to save up at least $2,000 to be able to move into 1-bedroom apartment. I can even afford to put money away or save money because I'm paying so much for rent, and I'm not sure how am I going to make it. A $500 rent increase is just not fair. I am a single mom. I don't get child support. I am in a difficult situation. I am so nervous. I don't know where we're going to live. My mom said that we can move in with her, but there is not enough room for me and my children. And the high cost of rent in North Las Vegas has really put us in a difficult situation. Everything is so expensive, and I am living paycheck to paycheck. All I want is to be able to pay the rent and my bills, but with the pandemic and rising rent, it is having very, very difficult. My plan is to keep looking for a place to rent that I can afford. We need a solution to the housing crisis in North Las Vegas. And that's why I'm here today, sharing my story in support of the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance. We need something to change. We won't be able to make it otherwise.
Next, I'd like to introduce Melanie Aries Mendy. She's a college student and also a North Las Vegas resident. So, Melanie, come on up. Let's get ready.
Hello, my name is Melanie Mendy. I am a 20-year-old daughter of immigrants, a North Las Vegas resident, and a college student who will become a nurse one day. In fact, right there, every place where my family moved growing up, I think I should write my novel. Looking back, the main reason we moved to Roundabout was because of the unaffordable price of housing. It was something that was very difficult for my family. I get emotional thinking about it because whenever we moved, I had to leave all my friends behind and navigate a new school. And had to make new friends all over again. After moving around between California, Nevada, and Texas, the first 4 years of my life, my parents were able to buy a home in Las Vegas in 2004. It was a 5-bedroom home, so my sisters and I had our own bedroom. Having my own room as a kid was great. We lived there for 4 years until the Great Recession. But when we lost our home to foreclosure in 2008, when I was 8 years old. One memory that stays with me from when our home was foreclosed was that I was not able to bring my belongings and toys with me. My mom and my sisters all had to move into California to live into a one-bedroom home, where my family was able to let us stay in. There were 5 of us living in that one room for a year, and so that was where we were able to stay, again, without our toys and belongings. I was young, but I remember it was a really hard time for our family, and my parents made a lot of sacrifices to ensure that we could have a better life. Me and my family moved back to Las Vegas in 2012 when our family finances changed for the better. My mom was able to get a great job in a casino on the strip as a guest room attendant, cleaning rooms, and she became a Culinary Union member. And our family was able to get great health insurance, so that my dad, who was sick, was able to go to the doctor whenever, something happens. My parents were able to save money and purchase in a Las Vegas home that we live in now. Before the pandemic, I was living on my own with my boyfriend while I was attending CSN to get my associate's degree. I was renting a 3-bedroom apartment with 2 other roommates, one that was an Uber driver and one that was an electrician. But when the pandemic hit, they both had to move back with their parents, and me and my boyfriend had to move back with my parents in Las Vegas. My hope is that one day I will be able to graduate from Nevada State College and become a nurse. And able to move out of my parents' house and afford an apartment or anywhere that I can save up money to buy my own home. But right now that path is not possible for me because rent is so expensive in Las Vegas and I can't buy an affordable apartment. I'm supporting the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance because something has to be done to ensure young people like me can move out and be able to save up money for down payment towards my first home without every paycheck going to high and costly rising rent. Me and other young Nevadans deserve a chance to buy and have a private home and have a successful future. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie, and you did great. Good job. Next up, I'd like to introduce Pastor Ender Austin III with the Church of God in Christ in North Las Vegas, and he is a homeowner. Pastor, come on up.
Good morning. Thank you, Ted, and thank you to the leadership, and most importantly, the members of Culinary Union 226. My name, as Ted said, is Ender Austin III, and I'm the pastor at the Church of God in Christ in North Las Vegas. I was raised in North Las Vegas, proud alumni of Mojave High School, and a lot of my ministry work is situated in my community. I'm really proud to say that in the last year, my wife and my 2 boys were able to purchase our first home. We were very intentional about creating a home in North Las Vegas because we've lived there most of our adult lives. And it's a community that is supported and literally raised me. Buying a home in North Las Vegas was important so that as we raise our children, they would know the blessing not only of home ownership, but be close to our family that also lives in that part of the valley. I love being a part of a community where people know my family and I know my neighbors. That's impossible to do when hardworking folks are pushed out of neighborhoods because of the high cost of rent. As a pastor, something that is on my heart often is the pain from seeing families being evicted or being pushed out because of the rising cost of rent. This doesn't allow any stability in my neighborhood, and it impacts our entire community. If folks are moving in and out, there's no way to create true community. As a homeowner, I want people to know that I want to know who's living next door to me, and that as a pastor, I want to know how I can support and be a friend to all of them. The Bible is clear. It asks the question, what does the Lord require of me? But to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before your God. That is the principle that I sincerely believe in. And that I should not just care about myself, it also shows me that I should care about the folks who are on either side of me. We want folks in North Las Vegas to have security and stability in our neighborhoods, because insecurity and instability can cause crime. While I live in a gated community, I'm concretely reminded and consistently reminded that Trayvon Martin also lived in gated community. And as my two little boys grow up in our community, or will we have the stability to make sure that my sons are not victims of violence such as that? It's unfortunate that these huge out-of-state corporations are driving up rent, and that sometimes divides us. We hate our neighbors who are trying to get food and survive, but the people who are literally raising rent, evicting us, and leaving us on the street, we act sometimes as if they're titans of industry, and that's not right. In the conversation about rising rents, I want to be honest about the spirit of greed that is running rampant in our community, and we have to address it. I certainly believe in the power of prayer and believe in the power of God. However, I also believe that these needs to be addressed by legislative means. We can pray and we can vote for legislative means that bring us in alignment with justice and what that looks like for people who are the most marginalized in our communities. Rising rent suffocates and deteriorates families, primarily Black, low income, and communities of colors, where you have folks working multiple jobs to make rent. This poverty depresses families. It doesn't allow for the proper support of a family to build up their children where they can move out of poverty. If we're going to call ourselves a land of opportunity, then we have to seriously address this issue of rising rent. To be clear, it's a moral issue. If your entire paycheck is going to rent, then you can't afford to have the balance in your life that hardworking folks deserve. North Las Vegas residents should be able to go on vacation, send their kids to college, spend money in our community, and one day purchase a home. The inability to do so is not good for the moral state of our community or this country. Isaiah 32:18 says, "My people will abide in a peaceful habitation, in a secure dwelling, in quiet resting places." Our communities deserve all of that and more. That's why I'm here today to support the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance so that North Las Vegas residents can have economic justice we need. Thank you.
Members of the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance Committee that have stepped up. God bless all of you, and we appreciate your work. Now, it's clear whether homeowners or renters, neighborhood stability, safety, security are important to all. You've heard all the reasons why it's important that the Neighborhood Stability Ordinance moves forward. We're already out talking to voters. We're going to be collecting thousands and thousands of signatures. And again, I want to be clear to North Las Vegas voters, time to get out and vote in November. This ordinance will be on the ballot.